My flight took off at 4 a.m. First stop, Houston. From Houston, I made it to Denver, a bigger plane, and one of the best things in human existence, free Wi-Fi. God, I love free Wi-Fi. And watching people. Have you ever noticed how no one talks to each other in airports? They just watch? Total of 9 hours and 3 planes, I arrive in probably the smallest airport I've ever seen. And this girl. The main reason for traveling 1,700 miles.
Million people. Are you filming? Hello. We're together.
It was very late at night when I got to Montana, so the only thing I saw that night was a pillow. And Henry, who I wholeheartedly believe is a distant cousin of my cat, Liam. Then immediately in the morning, I was back at the airport for what was to become the biggest surprise of the trip.
So I have a really big surprise for both of y'all. You do? Yeah.
Amy, who said she wasn't coming. Next, Caitlin took us around Missoula. We saw her college campus, beautiful mountains, and what can only be described as a man riding the smallest skateboard ever. We went shopping for supplies, giving me an excuse to do this very cheesy grocery cart shot. And then we found ourselves back at the airport one more time, this time for Nancy. That's when the party could really start. Some of our adventures included karaoke, us creeping on DFTBA record.
Alright, I'm vlogging now out the window.
Sadly, my camera died during that adventure. And finally, the day arrived for Caitlin's graduation. We all cheered loudly as she walked across the stage, bringing the last several years of her life to a close, and at the same time beginning a new one. We met some of Caitlin's amazing friends who, in addition to bringing delicious food, wrote a more than 5-page story, complete with Harry Potter references to honor her accomplishment. The next day we drove to Idaho and the Jerry Johnson Hot Springs, and while searching for the opening to the trail, we ran into this older lady. Now back to the graduation ceremony. There was this part before handing out diplomas where they honored a guy who was supposed to be given his doctorate. Instead, he unexpectedly died before finishing the project. It was such a moving moment, I didn't even know the guy, yet I had to push back the tears. Well, that woman near the trail, that was the man's grandmother. We'd just traveled to a different state, nearly 67 miles away from the college, yet this woman was standing right in front of us talking about her grandson. It was such a small world moment for me, it made me think. Sometimes we work so hard for the things we want, always looking towards the finish line. We don't always stop and appreciate what's right in front of us. We don't appreciate the homework, the lectures, the crazy friends, the scary walk across a bridge over a raging river.
Whoa, oh my god. Oh, shit. Stop, you're going to scare Nancy.
More than not, the pathway to where we are going should be just as memorable. Yeah, the final destination will be more than we could have ever dreamed, but the road to that dream is still paved with excitement. The trip would finally come to an end, we'd give our hugs and say our goodbyes, but let's be real, it really isn't a goodbye, more of a see you later. You can call it coincidence or fate, but I like to think it's something a little more profound. There's a reason we've all been brought together on this channel, a reason we take these trips every few years. All in all, it doesn't matter where you come from. You can meet someone and literally within minutes be closer than someone you've known 20 years. In fact, you'll be friends for the rest of your life. People make fun of the idea of YouTube and the relationships made, but we know that friendship doesn't have to be face-to-face or even in the same room. Friendship can be through a picture square, barely 7 inches wide. Love you girls. See you on Monday.